A quick break. Consult the right people.
When we come back, our personality of the month takes the couch. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. The last one we had Adedoja Allen as our personality. This month we have Zahra Zakariya AbdulKareem. She's a business strategist and social entrepreneur. She is a wife and mother whose passion for social development, human capacity development, and inclusivity has endeared her to pioneering many initiatives for the local community, both home and abroad. She's also an inspiration to a lot of Muslim women. Welcome to the show, Zahra.
Thank you. Thank you.
You can call us on 070-8066-8014. You can tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag Your View TVC so we can read your tweets. Now, one of the reasons why we brought you on is because you are you're a great young woman doing great things. You're Muslim, and a lot of people see a Muslim woman in hijab, and they always have this prejudgment. Recently, we talked about the hijabites, or how women who wear hijab. And it was key for us to bring you on to show that there are women like you, educated, smart, intelligent, doing great things. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into what you're doing right now.
Thank you very much. So my name is Zahra. I'm a business strategist and I'm a social entrepreneur. My background is in strategy and operations. I worked for Deloitte in the UK as a consultant. I've recently moved back to Nigeria, and I'm working currently on creating my training platform for young entrepreneurs, because I found that Nigeria, there's so many young entrepreneurs, so much talent, and there's a lack of support for people who can't necessarily afford the consultancy of a big firm, for instance. And I would really love to teach people how to find success in their business, but not just their business, also their personal lives. That's very important to who I am and what I teach, to being holistic. How can you find success in your personal life, in your marriages, in your relationships? How can you find success in your business and your profession? And how can you positively impact the society with that? So it's not just about you, it's also about how you can positively give back to the society. So we kind of fuse those three things in our trainings.
You know, for someone as power-packed, I'll call it like, you know, as you are, how was it choosing a partner? Because it's very key to find a life partner that would not alter your vision and the plans that you have. How was it like choosing your partner?
It's actually a very interesting story. So I met my husband, and within 3 weeks, 21 days exactly, we were engaged.
Ah, wow.
Yes. So from the first time of Salaam Alaikum on BBM to coming to see my dad, it was exactly 21 days. And for me, people find that really shocking, but for me, it was about being sure of what I wanted.
Thank you.
And before I decided I wanted to get married, I went through a lot of meeting people, not working out and whatnot. So by the time I was at that point, just graduated, I was very clear about what I wanted and what I was looking for in a husband. And I was very clear about who I am and what I won't take and what I will take. So because of that, we initially, so within the first 3 days, you know, you now know about me, I know about you, you are someone I see myself marrying. I kind of threw it to him. Can you see yourself marrying me? If not, let's stop this conversation now. Because I had been burnt in the past and I was not ready to, you know, I call them chicken wing boys, that, you know, they're not serious. By the time you invest so much in the relationship, okay, come and see my father, you don't see them again. So by that point, I think I was, you know, it's just God's plan, really, that we hit it off. And also, it just happened again that, you know, his family knew my family, so there wasn't any issues with the parents. It was like, oh, okay, oh yeah, I know his dad. Oh, okay, oh yeah, I know his dad. And my dad said to me, so when do you want to get married? When I told him about him, I was like, oh, so when do you want to get married? And I was like, so if we were going to do this, when would you want to get married? I was like, okay. And, you know, within 6 to 9 months.
Revealed was a program that you co-presented in the UK.
Yes.
And it was aimed at, you know, breaking stereotypes against Islam.
Yes.
Tell us about it. What
so
led to it?
Revealed, I was a presenter on Revealed, and this was, I think I was about 16. So, you know, young group of people in college, university, coming together to really challenge some of the issues we had, because around then, obviously with 9/11 and then the 7/7 attacks as well, and even everything that we're seeing now, there's so much negativity around Islam. And we were just a bunch of young teenagers who, you know, every day you go out and you're faced with that, and that becomes your reality. And we really wanted to show people that, look at us, we're young, we're doing different things. You know, I'm in university, I'm studying economics. You know, this is my friend who's doing photography. We're just normal teenage kids. These are the issues that are important to us. We spoke about, you know, boyfriend-girlfriend issues, you know, the hijab, you know, the things that every normal teenager would you know, go through.
Now, how did you decide on your career path? What exactly got you into that? Tell us about that.
So I would say that my father, I'm really, really lucky and privileged to have parents who, as you were saying, invested in us. I think I say it all the time that I am here today, I'm a product of my parents. And we moved, I was born and bred in the UK, and our family moved back in 2000 when I was 9 years old. And the first big decision, I said this, the best decision that my parents made was moving us all back together, because what you find is a lot of, to Nigeria.
They leave the children behind.
Yes. They send the children to boarding house, go and live with an uncle or auntie that you don't know, or a grandparent, and those children then feel abandoned. And going to Nigeria then was a punishment. You know, they use this as a threat. I'll send you to Nigeria if you're bad. But we all moved together as a family. That was the first good thing that they did. And from when we were young, we were reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, Who Moved My Cheese. We had weekly family meetings. Yes, I didn't even know what it meant, but he would make us read it. We had weekly family meetings where we talk about our week before, what went well, what we could have improved, what we would like to do next next week. So all the time you're constantly planning and thinking and reviewing. I always say the story as well, where we were, me and my siblings, top of our classes, high flyers. You come home with a report of 95%. My dad is not going to tap you on the back. He will say, what happened to that remaining 5%? He will say, have you done your corrections? He will say, if you do the exam again, will you get 100%? By that point, we just want to run out of the room. But all of that, growing up, we were like, oh, this is so much stress. But now that I'm an adult, now that I have my own daughter, I can then reflect and see that those are the things that have made me who I am today. So with regards to my career path, I'm very multifaceted. I'm interested in so many things. Because I'm academically able, you know, I had to go down the university, and I'm Nigerian. I had to go down the university route, but I'm also very creative. I did art in school. I started my first business, which was a clothing line, while I was in university at the age of 18. And if I didn't have the guidance of my parents, I would have gone to fashion school. Not that I would not have been successful in that, but my dad said, you can do your fashion on the side, but go to school, get your degree, you know. So I went and studied economics, and because I thought, okay, economics is open. I love business. I don't really know what to do. But he gave me that guidance.
If I bring in Jim, okay, I know economics is like the reigning thing now, because recently when Trump got in, we found out that Trump read economics. He made sure all his kids read economics. Everybody around him read economics. We went to the same school, University of Penn, and I was like, okay, what's this thing about economics? So I have a few friends saying, I'm going to make sure my kids study economics. So it's really interesting that you read economics. Let me come to Jim, okay.
I was going to start but you've answered most of the question on how did you choose economics, and is your passion for teaching and empowering people because of your background in economics. But you're a Muslim lady. I wanted to go back to gender equality and how you are empowered because your father thought that education was so important. He didn't think that if you have a choice at 14 or 16 or even 18 to say, you know what, I'm done. I want to go and marry. What do you...
I did want to get married actually at the age of 16.
So what happened?
So as a young Muslim, the only way you can be in a relationship that is legal in the eyes of God and man is to get married. And we're young, we have hormones, you know, we're attracted to the opposite sex. And so that is the institution by which it is allowed for you to engage in that relationship. So I wanted to get married at the age of 16. As I said, there were too many chicken wing boys that were not serious. So I didn't find somebody who was serious-minded, but I was looking. So as soon as I finished, and I kept looking, and as soon as I finished university, I was lucky enough to find my husband, and that we clicked. conflict. So I think that the issue of marriage is really about whether you're ready, and that's one thing I always say to young women.
So would your father have allowed you if you found someone at 16?
Perhaps. I'm not too sure. Perhaps. I must say that I'm quite a mature person. So my dad is very rational, very, very logical. So if you can convince him that other things will not suffer because of it, these are the reasons why, you know, and you can make your case. It's not just willy-nilly, you know, you can make your case, then I'm sure he would have found reason to. But what I found is that a lot of people are not actually ready to get married at that age. You know, the only reason why a lot of people want to get married is because they want to protect against, you know, sex outside marriage, you know, unwanted pregnancies, and all the things that we're seeing.
Forget about the other irresponsibilities that come with marriage.
That come with marriage. Everyone's too focused on the let's be in a relationship that is lawful in the eyes of man and God, which is righteous, which is good, but we're forgetting that there's so much that comes with marriage. So a lot of marriage counseling is actually needed for young women, in particular.
Zahra, you started the Umm Fariha Network.
Yes.
Tell us about it and why you initially wanted to go to create a postpartum support group for women.
So I suffered from postpartum psychomania after I had my daughter, just because of mismanagement of care after I gave birth to her. And coming out of that experience, I was in a trance, you know, for a good month afterwards. You know, what has just happened to me, and I'm so lucky to have had the support of my family and my friends. And coming out of that experience, I thought to myself, particularly for Nigerian women, whereby you come home from focused on the let's be in a relationship that is lawful in the eyes of man and God, which is righteous, which is good, but we're forgetting that there's so much that comes with marriage. So a lot of marriage counseling is actually needed for young women, in particular.
Zahra, you started the Umm Fariha Network.
Yes.
Tell us about it and why you initially wanted to go to create a postpartum support group for women.
So I suffered from postpartum psychomania after I had my daughter, just because of mismanagement of care after I gave birth to her. And coming out of that experience, I was in a trance, you know, for a good month afterwards. You know, what has just happened to me, and I'm so lucky to have had the support of my family and my friends. And coming out of that experience, I thought to myself, particularly for Nigerian women, whereby you come home from the hospital and your mother-in-law is saying she wants amala, and your sister-in-law is saying she wants rice, and you have to cook for her, or your mother-in-law is putting rub in your baby's bum. The trauma, these stories are real. The trauma is so much.
I gotta put you on a quick break. Let me pause you. I mean, this is really interesting. Let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. All right, so continue the conversation, the postpartum depression that women go through.
Yes, so I found that there were so many women who didn't have that support. So I created the Umm Fariha Network as a support group online initially, and after the first month it was such a hit that other women were coming and saying, it's not just about mothers, what about us, I'm a wife, I'm not married yet, and whatnot. So we went offline, and we rebranded as you know, a network for nurturing women of virtue, and we have 4 segments. We have the daughter segment, so this is about supporting, you know, young girls who have just hit puberty, trying to find themselves and their identities, you know, that pre-marriage state. Then we have the wife segment, so you know, you're now ready to look for a husband, looking for a spouse, you know, that everything that I was saying before about the counseling, are you actually ready? And now that you're in marriage, you know, newlyweds, we know how it is. Yes. You know, marriage is not what you think. So a lot of people are ill-prepared for the realities of marriage. So we have a Wifey Wednesday segment on the blog, and we talk about real issues that people usually cringe and shy away from. And then we have the mother segment and the inner you segment.
Let me take this call from Rukayat. Rukayat, are you there? Rukayat, are you there? Oh, we lost that call.
So in one word, you do photography for henna parties.
Used to.
You used to? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Then you still have the online clothing store?
So I've rebranded the clothing store into a modest fashion strategy and branding outlet. Okay. So supporting, you don't need more fashion designers. There's so many in Nigeria. Now let's actually get a good business strategy in place. Let's work on your brand. Let's work on your social media and digital marketing strategy, promotion, how to get your products out there. Great. So that's under Modest Fashion Nigeria.
Yeah, but are we targeting the people that would dress the Muslim, or we're targeting every fashion?
We're targeting every fashion outlet, but in particular, modest fashion.
Okay, fantastic.
We have a phone call.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Olatunji, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Yes, I'm here.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, yeah, morning.
Morning, Olatunji.
Yeah,
Welcome.
Yeah, I just want to contribute and greet you, ladies, for a wonderful job you are doing.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Now, Zahra, what is of most concern to me is I'm impressed by the much that you're able to achieve because your father allowed you to be educated and your husband is not holding you back. You know, you knew what you wanted before you got married. There are a lot of people, and a lot of them Muslim wives, who are third, fourth wives, who are just being hidden. Like underneath the bed, the husband is saying, no, they cannot see you, no, you can. So a lot of potential in women, young ladies like you, that is buried inside marriage. How do we bring out women and say, no, being an hijaber does not mean that you must be locked inside the house. You can still express yourself. God has put in you a lot of skills and talents that you need to express to the world. How do we tell people that?
I think it's what we're doing right now.
Okay.
It's being on a platform like this and giving the opportunity to address women. I think one of the big issues we find, and this is why personally with what I'm doing now with Essence, we profile successful individuals, Muslim women, people who normally you don't see them. They're there. There are lots of us. For the number of people who are there hidden, there are people out there doing things, but the traditional media outlets and whatnot, they don't carry these stories because it's not the fashion is Muslims are terrorists. That's the narrative. So it's really up to us
to tell the story.
To change that narrative.
Okay.
There are people, yes, exactly.
Let me take this call from Kwara State. Bayara, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm good.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Morayo, please, I will try to drag you back a bit.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'm there. I will try to pull you back a bit.
Go ahead, Bayara, please. Go ahead. We're listening.
You see, issue of maybe the issue you were discussing, the
Emir of Kano, yes.
You see, the issue of giving birth to children, the Northerners, very sorry to say, it's not that they give birth to take care of children. You know, it is what you doesn't like. You throw it away. If they give birth to children, it's not that they need those children. They throw them away completely.
Really?
It is you that know the value of child. You now pick those children. Those Almajiri, come to our area and see. They sleep anywhere.
Okay, thank you very much.
It's disheartening completely.
Thank you very much, Bayara. So we can understand why the Emir is making this kind of suggestion. All right.
So what are you working on currently?
So I'm currently building my business strategy practice called The Essence. We run business strategy sessions for young entrepreneurs and SMEs. We do those monthly across Nigeria, Lagos. We've had Abuja as well in December. I also do Muslim lifestyle events because I said it's very important for us to change that narrative, to show people an alternative way of living and expressing themselves, to profile successful individuals. And really the theme of our symposium, we have a symposium coming up this weekend, Saturday and Sunday at the Lekki Central Mosque. And our theme is raising aspirations and fostering excellence. Raising aspirations first, because I totally agree with what you're saying. Too many people are in this hole and they think the reason why they stay in that hole is because they believe that their religion requires it of them. And that is incorrect.
So do you support the Emir
get the knowledge
on polygamy?
With regards to polygamy is a very sensitive issue, and it's not something that just affects the Muslim community, because it's everywhere. And the other thing that I have to say is people also give birth to children outside of polygamy and don't look after them. So polygamy has its issues, but you know, there's so many social issues,
deeper than that.
you know, that are affecting our people. So we have to raise the aspirations of our youth.
So the symposium.
Yes, the symposium is all about raising aspirations and then fostering excellence, because we found that even this is something that I can say, perception is reality, but sometimes it stems from truth. That in the Islamic community, there's this mediocrity, and it's time for us to raise our aspirations.
Yeah, I think
and to be
that's a
excellent in what
key
we do.
angle. The mediocrity.
Yes.
But
There's a tweet for
Yes, go
Zahra. Deta Momodu says, I am proud of you. May Almighty Allah bless and guide you in all your endeavors, Zahra. You are sound.
And Titus says, Zahra, such an amazing young woman there. This is what education can do. I pray and hope others are learning. Somebody also says, okay, same thing.
I think one thing we also learned is that behind which what was always preached about parenting and family, raising children in the right atmosphere, regardless of where you are, where you're from, what your background
Your
is,
culture,
once you
or
have-
religion.
whatever. Once you have parents who support you, who are there for you, and I like the fact that your parents made you read books at that young age. That's inspiring to a lot of people out there, saying getting children, get them to think right, very young and very early, so that as they grow up, they can reap the benefits.
So even if you decide at 16 that you want to marry, you are doing it
You're
from
mature
an
enough
informed place.
position, yes.
But then, please, even this whole marriage issue, because you have 16-year-olds following sugar daddies, what are we doing about that? There's deep social issues around these issues, and you know, marriage is meant to be there to protect against these things. You see a lot of irresponsible men donating children, you know, about the place.
Let's all follow the emir. Try to solve the ills in your society like the emir is doing.
Yes, and everyone has their part. That's the other thing.
down
Everyone
south.
has been blessed with unique talents, and in your own way, through your own talent, you can make a positive
Great
difference.
stuff. Thank you very much, Zahra.
Thank you.
It's great having you on the show today. We hope to have you some other time.
Yes, I would love to be back.
Okay, that's all we can take on the show today. Thanks for joining us. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.